Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name's madrit rusidov. Hopefully, this microphone's working. I'm not too sure of the audio. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it should be working. Anyway, I'll just show you what I can do. Thank you.
So I should just say the Prime Minister's speaking at midday now, so I'll have to leave. I'm very close to them. Have you any chance of getting the numbers to bring them onto suspense standards, to bring them onto debate? And secondly, Ms O'Neill, one of the things you were calling for a week or so ago was the removal of hawking of insurance and super products. That's not in these bills today. Is that still a priority for Labor, or have you taken that off? I'll let Claire answer this, Edwardson, but going to, I think, the fundamental question, Phil, does the Parliament want to deal with banking scandals and rip-offs or not? Mr Morrison should explain to people what he finds objectionable in clamping down funeral insurance. What does the government find objectionable about clamping down and making sure people aren't getting ripped off in car loans? What does he find objectionable in particular about giving ASIC the power to scrutinise insurance contract and claims practices, especially as thousands of our fellow Australians in northern Queensland are just recovering from the dreadful rains and floods that they've had there? So the onus is on him. If not now, when? And if not, why not? And that goes for the crossbench. Mr Katter's made a name of being sceptical about the bank's scandals and performance, a great record. But he needs to explain, we know that there'll be problems with insurance contracts. We know there'll be problems with funeral insurance. We know there'll be problems with dodgy car loans. Why would we turn a blind eye and allow it go for the next 6 months? I'll let Claire answer the second question.
Thank you. We are absolutely not stepping back to our commitment to implementing that recommendation of the Royal Commission. We've been really conservative about the changes that we've put forward here. We don't have a Treasury department of hundreds of people who work on writing bills and making sure that these changes are implemented. What we have done is picked out the changes that we think are most straightforward, most simple, and not open to debate, as Bill has indicated. We have worked with a QC and a barrister in Melbourne to draft these laws. They've reviewed the laws on a first draft, they've reviewed the laws on a second draft, and we have a letter from the QC, Ray Finkelstein, which indicates that these laws do exactly what we say that we want them to do and nothing more. With hawking, there are some complexities there, and so we just need to take a little bit more time. We're not stepping back from that. We are responsible about how we want to do this, but we shouldn't use being responsible as an excuse not to take action where we can.
What about some of the more controversial recommendations? 2 weeks on, has Labor worked out what it wants to do with mortgage brokers?
Why don't I let Chris answer this, because this is going to be a week where we intend every day to be putting out proposals to reform our banking system. We're not announcing everything today, but I'll let Chris outline our timetable. We'll be very clear and specific on our measures.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. The Commission did identify issues in mortgage broking, real issues, which need to be addressed. Now, the government has said they'll get rid of trial commissions and then they'll have a review of upfront commissions. But that doesn't really provide much certainty for the sector, a review going forward. We want to deal with the matters that the Royal Commission identified in mortgage brokers, the problems that they identified. Of course, we've been taking our time to carefully consult with all relevant parties, and we'll have more to say in coming days about our proposed approach. We'll be fully transparent in our approach, not only well before the election, but in the immediate future.
Well, should brokers take a commission from a bank or
other? David, I've answered the question. We will have more to say. We've been working with the financial sector, with consumer groups, to consult about how the problem identified by the Royal Commission, which is a real one, can best be addressed in a way which achieves that objective with minimum disruption. We'll have more to say.
Mr Shorten, just two important questions on the Medivac bill. Are you comfortable for refugees and asylum seekers Medivac under that bill to be treated on Christmas Island? And secondly, what do you think the implications are of the Nauru bill, the legislation which Nauru says will make it harder for refugees and asylum seekers to be transferred? Override. What's motivated Labor, and this answers the Christmas Island question, is purely this. We've got to maintain strong borders, but we've got to ensure humane treatment of people who are indirectly or directly within our care. That's a fundamental principle of the Australian way of life. What we've done is codified existing practice. Never forget, under this government, 900 people have come to Australia, 900. Somehow this government thinks that for the 500 who are left, providing transparent codification of medical treatment is a pull factor. That's just a complete lie by a government who's seeking to distract people from their failings as a government of Australia. If the medical treatment is required and it's delivered on Christmas Island and it makes people well, that's fine. The issue here is the safe treatment of people within the context of strong borders. Listen, I haven't seen what the Nauruans have passed. They're a sovereign country. I've always said that. I respect that fact. If they're passing laws which they feel are necessary, that's up to them. They are a sovereign government.
On the North Queensland flood, what do you want to do about the kind of truck and cattle losses that have taken place so far?
There can be no doubt that the losses suffered by Australia's cattle farmers are catastrophic. We need a united approach on it, a bipartisan approach on it. If the government wants to propose this following idea, I'm happy if they borrow it from me. If they want to compensate farmers for cattle losses and livestock losses, they should. Let me be very clear here. I support a proposal which sees the farmers being compensated for livestock losses, and I call upon the government to implement that. If they do, but I put this idea forward to Mr. Morrison on behalf of the cattle herders of Australia and the farmers. They should look at compensating for the livestock losses.
Okay, we'll just have to leave Bill Shorten there because we're going to a break. That was live from Parliament House in Canberra. Labor's saying it's drawn up legislation to implement recommendations from the Hayne Royal Commission into the banks. And while that's been happening, Finance Minister Matthias Cormann has been answering dozens of questions at a Senate estimates hearing about this holiday travel. Stick with us on the ABC News channel.
No story, anytime, anywhere with ABC Newsline. Head to news.abc.net.au or download the new ABC News app.
Tomorrow on News Breakfast, Antarctica's Casey Station turns 50. We'll have all the celebrations from our reporter on the ground.
And in the beat with Zan Rowe, Queen set to rock the Oscars with frontman Adam Lambert as Bohemian Rhapsody firms as one of the favourites for Best Picture theatre.
One America is back. Bigly.
Join Chaz and John for another year of madness.
This is our president. Yes, it's true. So get excited for another huge year. Welcome to One America.
It's fake news.
Truth isn't truth. As we pick apart all the Trumps and tragedies.
God bless the United States.
So excited to be back on Planet America.
Friday on ABC News. Weekdays, ABC News brings you the latest breaking news and analysis.
I'll be joining Gemma Vaness and Kirsten Aiken for sharp political analysis that cuts through the noise.
Passion, expertise, unscripted chat.
Debate without a spin.
And a wrap of the day's unmissable stories
from Australia and around the world. Plus, we pick apart all the day's business and finance news.
ABC News, Australia's most trusted news source.
Well, you don't see this every day. 10,000 people eating lunch together.
Washington, D.C., with the government still shut down. As you can see from the crowd, federal workers have had enough.
She's risked everything to flee from Saudi Arabia, one of the most repressive nations on earth for women.
While they may have held the highest office in the land, it's difficult for women to enact their rights in Indian society.
Police have spent several hours trying to keep far-right and anti-fascist demonstrators apart on the security shore.
ABC News, London.
Jakarta.
Western Japan.
Beijing.
New Delhi.
South of Perth.
Jerusalem.
Katoomba.
Washington.
Sydney. Up and down this coast, people are still with the aftermath of the tsunami.
With 15 billion dollars going back to land, we're killing 100-year-old gods. Something's wrong somewhere.
It's an Australian race. It's really special for me.
Today, the Finance Minister on the defence after not being charged for flights by a company awarded a government contract.
I know that the question is going to be asked, didn't you keep an eye on your credit card? I should have, is the truthful answer.
Infrastructure and military networks on alert from the rising threat of cyber attacks. The founder of controversial Chinese tech company Huawei rejects international criticism that its technology can be used for spying. And weather warnings in place as tropical cyclone Omar threatens southeast Queensland. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Ross Childs. The Finance Minister, Mr. Coleman, has defended himself after not being charged for flights by a company awarded a government travel contract. Senator Coleman followed up on the
Maybe later, people. Thank you.